What's poppin'? We've updated 19.20. This one is actually pretty cool. And as you can already see, we have some pretty cool stuff. All right, so let's jump right in. Let's start out with the stuff that is not in the game because already a lot of people are confused by it. No, the Henchman device is not in the game and it got renamed. It actually is now called the Guard spawner and it looks pretty ready. So I hear that the beta people already have it in their games. That means it could be very close to being released in the actual game, but for now it's just a leaked item and it's not in the game right now, and we have something very close to it. I'll come to that in a second, but let's start with the items that are actually in the game. And that is, first of all, we have a new mythic in the game, which is the a Gunner Stinger SMG. Pretty basic gun, basically. I think it's completely new to Fortnite in general. Pretty cool gun, but the most important thing with the new items is that we now have fire items in Fortnite Creative, which also means that we can have fire damage in Fortnite. You can see if you shoot the item on the floor, it actually burns, and you can also get burning damage from it, which is super amazing. But as you can see, you can also burn down actual building pieces now, which, you know, I have a lot of things unplanned for this one. But it's super cool that we finally have the fire damage in game. We have the Primal Flame Bow, we have the gas can, and we also have the fire flash. There's also a full new item, which I'm coming to in a second. But that's it for the items that we have new in the game when it just comes to consumables and weapons. Alright, so let's come to the two devices that have a new update. And that is, first of all, the Sentry now has a prop version. You can still find the old version in here. That is probably because people already have it in their maps and they cannot just simply replace it. But you can now use the prop version. You can turn this, you can flip this, you can do whatever you want to do with this. It still works the same, and it actually costs a lot less. I think this one is clocking in around like 1.4K memory. The old one was 12,000, so this is quite a big update. It is basically the same device, but as a prop version. Coming to the character device, the character device has now a few new stouts, which you can use in the characters here, and yeah, I think that's a pretty cool update. The more styles, the better. There's still no new like kind of emotes or idols, which I hope for that they come soon. But for now, they still have a few new outfits here. Alright, so the next new device in the game is the fuel pump. And no, this is not just a random prop. This is actually a fuel pump. You can find this under the device category. And yes, you guessed it. You can fuel up cars for now in creative, which is pretty cool. You can have this option down here. You have to turn it on. By default, this is to off. So if you want to use it, if you want to use the coffee pump, it's a pretty basic device. There's nothing really too special here. And yes, it can explode. Really cool. And definitely adds a little bit more detail to the cars. All right, so before we come to the last new device here, I'm going to show you guys a quick quality of life improvement which Fortnite gave us in the devices, where you can actually now put in custom numbers in the channel category by typing. So you can see here that I can actually type like 453 or whatever, and you can actually put that in here, which is like super helpful. You can now customize them. It is only working for the channels though. I don't think it's working for any other items here. So yeah, you can now type in custom things into the channels, which is pretty cool, and especially for PC players or mouse and keyboard players, this is super helpful. Also on another note, on the variant car gallery B, you can now find the battle bus, and it is now officially in the game in creative. You can actually use it. You don't have to glitch it into the game, and yeah, it is just a prop, but it is pretty cool. Alright, so let's move on to the last new device in the game, which is the Skydive Volume. And this device basically does what it says. You can skydive in this area. It is a pretty simple device, but people ask why we can just use the air vents for this one. Yes, you could use the air vents, but using stuff like this is very cool because you can now basically recreate the airflow tunnels very easily with just a simple device. You don't have to use a ton of air vents. It's also a lot easier to be in this device. You have a lot more options. You have glider deploy, which you also have in like other things, but you can also change the push force, the velocity, launch speed. So there's so many options in this. So I think this is actually a pretty cool device, and it's actually pretty underrated for a lot of people probably. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what you guys can do with this. Probably a lot of people will use this to recreate the stuff from season 10 where you had the airflow tunnels, or like in the last few seasons, it was, I think, like on the alien ship, there was also a few of them. So really cool device here, really cool to recreate stuff from BR. And I think this update is a huge W. We definitely have to wait until we get the Henchman device, or the guard spawner now, however it's called now, and see what is going on there. And yeah, that is a pretty cool update for today. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Definitely let me know what your favorite part of this update is. For me, it's definitely the fire, and I can't wait to burn everything down. So see you guys back in the next one, and bye.